Let me just conclude, if I could, on some of what I heard from the Committee on High-Speed Rail, because I hope colleagues will think very carefully about the appropriate test for whether or not high-speed rail should be supported in our country. If the test is it going to be in my state? I don't think that's the right test. High-speed rail is probably not going to be in my state. But I support high-speed rail because I believe it's good for America. Look, I've got things in my state that are not in other states that get federal support. I've got two of the largest Air Force bases in the country in my state. They're not in other states, but my colleagues know that those bases have value for America, and so they support them. High-speed rail, is very clear to me, has value for America, and we're all part of Team America. And when I look at what Team Japan is doing, they've got high-speed rail. I've ridden on it. I think it goes nearly 200 miles an hour. I've been on high-speed rail in Russia, train that went almost 200 miles an hour. We see what's happening all across Europe with high-speed rail. If America is not to fall behind, if we're going to be competitive, we're going to have high-speed rail. And I believe it's one of those investments that actually will pay dividends in terms of the competitiveness of our country, in terms of attracting tourists to America. And by the way, I've got thousands of people from my state, my little state of North Dakota, who come and ride the rail that is outside of my state. I've got people who ride the metro system here in Washington. Thousands of people from North Dakota who come every year and ride metro and ride the Northeast Corridor rail. So, you know, we're not the individual states of America. We're the United States of America. And if we're going to be strong, I don't think the test can be, it's got to be in my state, or I'm not going to support its funding. I think the test has got to be, is it good for the country? I think we've got to apply the additional test now, is it being paid for? Because we can't just add to the charge card when we're borrowing 40 cents of every dollar we spend. And the hard reality is when we look at the spending of the country today, as a share of the GDP, it's the highest it's been in 60 years. The revenue as a share of GDP is the lowest it's been in 60 years. So both sides of that equation is going to have to be worked. But we can't forget the fundamentals of economic strength and growth. And if we're not investing in infrastructure in America, we're making a big, big mistake. Mr. Secretary, I want to end as I began. I think you are exceptional.
Thank you.
I've rarely seen a witness who is better prepared or does a better job of defending his position than you do. And I just want to thank you for the leadership you've provided.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your leadership.